So the story starts with Princess Elodie. The other one is Princess Elodie's sister Floria. They live in a poor country where people have to struggle a lot for movement and food. Then suddenly, they see a carriage from a royal palace of some distant kingdom arriving in their kingdom. To know the whole matter better, they enter inside. After entering the palace, they see their father talking to that woman. Elodie suddenly becomes a bit worried about why this woman has come here. The woman gives a letter to Elodie's father. After opening the letter, it is seen that the Queen of Aura has sent an invitation for marriage for her daughter. Both the king and queen become very happy upon knowing this. And they tell Elodie, "Okay, you go now. Your time has come. Fulfill that dream of yours that you've always had. Do this work for your people." Since they were very poor, this was very necessary for them. They start their journey the next day towards that new kingdom. Here in one scene, you can see Elodie's mother scolding Elodie so that she doesn't stand in the cold. After the prince sees her, he likes her at first sight. Suddenly, a sound is heard. They have reached that kingdom. The king comes out from inside. Everyone, including Elodie, looks in amazement because there were dragons made in large sizes. Dragons whose mouths had fire burning. Not one or two, countless. For a moment, it seems interesting to them. They are brought to that palace in the royal carriage. Seeing the palace, they all become amazed, since they have come from a very small poor kingdom. All this was very interesting to them. On behalf of the king and queen, their minister invites them inside the palace. After entering the palace, they become even more amazed seeing the palace. They never thought it would be this interesting. They are taken to their rooms to rest, which were very high up. Seeing the room, it seemed very interesting to them. They liked everything very much. Then Elodie's father tells Elodie, "Take some time for yourself so that you can prepare yourself properly. Calm your mind. Okay, we are all going to our rooms." This room was completely for Elodie. Elodie eats fruit from there and wanders around the room. She goes to the balcony to see the surrounding environment. After going to the balcony, she sees another girl there. Elodie doesn't know who she was. This remains an interesting part for us. The sun sets, night falls. At night, Elodie couldn't sleep. Elodie always likes to do magic art. When Elodie comes to the balcony, suddenly her eyes go towards the highest mountain visible from the palace. And light was burning in that mountain. A question arises in her mind why they are there. But she hides that question in her mind. At night, the two sisters try to sleep together. The younger sister told Elodie that she is very happy and very joyful for her. The next day, Elodie meets the king and queen there. The queen held the power there. The queen asks Elodie her name and asks if she likes the palace. At that moment, our prince introduces himself to Elodie. When the queen asks Elodie's younger sister, the younger sister says she likes their palace very much. After that, Elodie is sent separately with the prince to talk, to exchange information among themselves and get acquainted. And the queen separates to talk about some personal things with Elodie's father. In the next scene, we see Elodie discussing the prince. Elodie asks the prince, does he like her? What is his preference? What does he want to do in life? There was some mystery hidden in all the prince's answers. Then Elodie asks, do your guards always follow you so closely? I want to talk a bit more personally. Then she says, when entering the palace, I saw how many horses were kept there. Then the prince asks, does that mean you can ride horses? Then the two of them go out with horses for some more alone time. On the other hand, the queen makes a deal with Elodie's father. But what conversation happened between them? What deal was made? Elodie's father was unwilling to tell anything about this. He didn't want to tell at all and kept it completely secret. Elodie's mother tells Elodie's father, you must have asked for a lot of gold, right? Elodie's father says, yes, I will get an amount of wealth that I never even expected. But don't ask me anything more than that. On the other hand, we will see the prince and Elodie walking side by side and talking. They have reached the top of a mountain. Standing there, the prince asks Elodie, what is the biggest wish in your life? Then Elodie says, I want to travel the world. I want to interact with people. I want to see cultures. I want to see nature. Things that people only read in books. Then the prince expresses the same wish. On the other hand, the queen was preparing for the marriage of the prince and Princess Elodie. There, Princess Elodie's mother goes and says some things. When they try to get intimate, the queen belittles her, saying, "You have come from a small place. You don't need to remember where you came from. You also don't need to know how much you can talk to them." After hearing this, Elodie's mother's heart breaks. Elodie's mother feels that they may be very big people and kings, but their hearts are not good. In the next part, we see Elodie's younger sister dressing Elodie and saying some sweet things. In the midst of this, Elodie's mother enters that room and tries to explain to Elodie, "The decision you are about to make is wrong. It seems to me that this marriage is a wrong decision. It seems to me that you may need to think more. They are very high people, but their hearts are not good. And believe me, I may be your stepmother, but I have never wanted bad for you." At that moment, Elodie's father enters the room and doesn't let Elodie's mother say anything more. He silences her, says, "Let them be as they are. It's late. We need to sleep." At that moment, Elodie's mother just gives a small sound to Elodie's father. "I think what you are doing, perhaps you are doing it knowingly." The next day in the morning, Elodie is dressed for the wedding completely with a princess dress. Oh my God. She looks so beautiful, I can't explain it to you. And her younger sister was sitting beside the whole time watching and smiling. It was a very fun moment. When she is fully dressed, she looks completely like a princess. Elodie's father brings Elodie to the wedding stage and she is handed over to the prince. In front of everyone in the kingdom as witnesses, they exchange rings and complete their wedding. After that, a journey is prepared for them. At the time of going on that journey, Elodie's father completely bids farewell to Elodie. Elodie's mother bids farewell. Her younger sister bids farewell. On the journey, Elodie asks the prince, "Where are we going?" Then the prince tells Elodie, "After marriage, we honor our ancestors by climbing to the top of that mountain." After climbing to the top of the mountain, Elodie suddenly gets scared when she sees countless people standing wearing masks. A completely ghostly situation. The prince's mother gives a coin to Elodie's hand and says, "Follow me." The queen then tells Elodie an interesting old story that long ago, even before their kingdom was built here, the world's most terrifying creature lived here. They tried a lot to kill that creature, but no one could do it. That creature lived in this cave. After reaching there, the queen suddenly takes out a knife. Elodie gets more scared. Then the prince's hand is cut, and after asking Elodie to extend her hand, Elodie's hand is also cut. The wounds of both hands are held together and the blood is mixed together. And through this, Elodie is told that, from today, you are also royal blood. Then everyone in the kingdom bows their heads in front of Elodie. The coin that was given to her hand, she throws it inside the cave. Then the prince tells her that now, according to tradition, I have to carry you in my arms. When she was picked up in arms, she was very happy. For a temporary time, she is told, "Close your eyes. I am holding you." But the prince knew something was going to happen. The prince suddenly comes near Elodie's ear and says, "I am sorry," and throws Elodie inside that cave. Then Elodie falls inside the cave. While falling, many scratches occur on her body. But since there were many plants there, hitting them, she regains consciousness at the bottom of the cave in an injured state. She sees blood dripping from various parts of her body. She couldn't understand why she was thrown so deep into the cave. Looking around the cave, she sees countless coins like the one given to her hand lying there. She starts shouting and calling everyone, but no one responds to her call. No one is hearing her call to help her. There was no one here. Everyone had left by then. But hearing her call, hearing her scream, that terrifying monster wakes up inside the cave. Meanwhile, Elodie understands everything by then why she was married and brought here to be thrown into this cave. She tries a lot to climb up, but can't. Every time she fails and falls down. Suddenly, looking around the cave, she sees countless royal ornaments and shoes clothes lying there. And she understands these are not hers. That means she is not the only person who has been thrown here. Before her, countless other girls have been thrown here. She hears a sound from inside the cave and advances towards that sound. She keeps hearing more sounds and advances further forward. And there she sees a little light burning. To know what that light is, she advances further. Suddenly, she sees fire burning in the body of a small bird, and the bird was writhing and dying there. She tries a lot to extinguish the fire on the bird's body. She leaves the bird there. And suddenly she hears a louder sound and then sees countless birds advancing towards her together. All those birds had fire burning on their bodies. All the birds were writhing to save themselves. She gets terrified and scared, lowers her head, and lies down on the ground. Then she gets up and starts crying, and looking around sees all the birds lying dead there. She starts thinking, "Where have I come?" In the midst of this, suddenly she hears a roar. A very big sound. And this is the sound of a very big monster-like animal. She understands that. In that, she looks back, and suddenly after a big wind comes from behind her, she turns back and sees a huge monster-like mouth. She gets more scared and screams and starts running upwards. She understands that this sound is slowly advancing towards her. She gets more scared and hides behind a rock and looks left and right. But here there was something more terrifying, that monster-like animal was talking to her. She asks the animal, "What do you want?" Then the animal says, "I want to eat you." And every royal blood has to pay for their actions. And at that moment, that monster figure comes out from the darkness. And it is seen that it was a dragon. After seeing it, Elodie starts running, and the dragon throws fire towards Elodie. Elodie runs to save her life. Running, she reaches inside a cave, where the fire was reaching inside the cave. After reaching inside the cave, she sees a corpse inside the cave. That corpse was of that girl whom she had seen from inside the palace. Through a small gap in that cave, she tries to enter inside but gets stuck because of her dress. And right at that time, fire was coming towards her from the other side. After a lot of struggle, she frees her dress from there and enters completely inside the cave. But fire catches on one part of her leg, and she falls there and starts screaming because of the burn wound on her body. Suddenly the dragon asks, "Are you still alive?" Then she doesn't say anything. But the dragon understands that she is silent to save herself, but she is awake. She stays silent there until the dragon leaves from there. After the dragon leaves, she removes the strongest part of her dress. And when she was dressed, a small knife was given inside her body, which was part of her dressing. She takes out that knife and sharpens it lightly. She cuts a part of her dress. With that cut part of the dress, she ties that burn wound on her leg. And while tying it, she screams with a lot of pain. After sitting there for some time, she remembers that when she was dressed, she was given a neck locket. Inside that locket, there is a fragrant thing that can be used to make a candle by burning it in fire. She lights a fire in it and arranges a small light. She was not ready to give up at all. So holding that light, she advances towards the front of the cave. She starts thinking, "Will I find any way to get out of here?" After advancing from the front of that cave, she falls through a small hole. She gets seriously injured, and the light she had arranged by lighting fire also completely goes out. Then she finds a light source from inside the cave. She sees small blue lights burning inside the cave. She slowly advances towards that light. But before reaching that light, she reaches in front of a very big hole. And there she sits and starts crying. Then she removes her wedding ring and throws it into that hole. And strengthening her mind, she goes back a bit and from there runs and jumps. She jumps and tries to reach the other side but slips and starts falling from there. At that time, she uses that knife and using the knife tries to climb further up. After struggling for a long time, she is able to climb up. And she sees that those small blue lights burning inside the cave are not any lights. They are actually a type of creature living inside the cave from which that light was coming. Then an idea comes to her mind, and she removes a part of the cloth from her hand and collects some creatures in that cloth to arrange a light. After advancing forward, she finds some water there. By then, Elodie was very thirsty. As soon as she takes that water to her mouth, this water is completely unfit for drinking, and she sees this water is falling from the ice accumulated above. She goes down into the water and starts drinking those small drops of water melting from the ice with her mouth open. Suddenly, the amount of water starts increasing. She couldn't understand the reason because her eyes were closed. When the amount of water falling increases a lot, then suddenly she opens her eyes and sees that from the other side of the ice, the dragon has thrown fire towards her. The ice was melting due to that heat. Immediately, to save herself, she runs towards another cave and reaches inside a small hole. After reaching inside the cave, Elodie notices that there was something written on the rock there. And it said, "This cave is safe. The dragon can't do anything to you here." She hears the dragon has left from there. And after looking around the cave, she sees countless girls' clothes lying there. And she understands that countless other girls had reached inside this cave. After going a bit further inside the cave, she sees countless girls' names written inside the cave. The names of all the girls who have been victims of this dragon so far were written here. She starts reading all the names one by one, and at one point, she understands that countless girls have lost their lives here being victims of this dragon. Unable to bear the pain, she opens that cloth tied on her leg for some time and sees that the wound has taken a worse form. With fear, hunger, pain, with extreme fever in her body, she starts writhing there. She herself doesn't know how many hours she was writhing there. Suddenly, she sees that all the girls who lost their lives here, none of their souls could get out from this cave. She sees how those girls writhed, how those girls cut the rocks and wrote their own names. Suddenly, a soul calls her. All this was a lie. Then suddenly, she notices that many of those small glowing creatures were gathered on her leg wound. She removes them one by one from her leg, but after removing them, she understands that her leg wound has healed. Then she understands that these creatures can heal body wounds. When her body wounds heal, some energy returns to her body. And after observing a bit more inside the cave, she finds a map there. She matches with that map how she reached inside this hole and through which places she came to this hole. Then she starts thinking how she will get out of here. Then in another part of that map, there is a sun art and a road is made. She observes how well she can get out of this cave. She removes her heavy clothes. Like all other girls, she takes out her knife and writes her name inside that cave. Then her journey starts to get out of here. Holding that light in her hand, she slowly advances towards the front of the cave and hears the dragon's sound from behind. Scared, she advances further forward. Then she finds that place through which she can get outside, but she notices it is a high place. After a long time, she can feel the outside sunlight on her body, and for some time she becomes happy. Then she understands that to climb up this cave, she has to climb up countless thorny crystals. She prepares to climb up. She tears the remaining part of her dress and ties it on her hands and feet so that it is convenient for her to climb up. After climbing a bit, the dragon comes down and her hand slips from above. When she is about to fall down, she holds onto another crystal and starts climbing up again, and understands that the dragon is waiting for her below. After a lot of struggle, she is able to climb up that cave. She sees an open place in front and advances towards it. After advancing, she understands there is no way to get out of here, and if she jumps or falls from here, she won't survive. Elodie stands on the top of that mountain and sees the palace and sits there and starts crying. For some time, it seems to her that her life will end here. Right then, she sees some horses and some people, and starts shouting, "I am here. Save me. Help. Help me." Right then, that dragon flies from outside and comes in front of that cave and tries to eat her. She enters the cave again. Then she sees that the dead body of the girl who had reached here is lying right here. Then the dragon tells her, "There is no way to survive. You have to die now." When the dragon is about to throw fire, right then the dragon hears the sound of those people coming down from the horses and rushes towards that side again. And Elodie hears someone calling her name from inside the cave, and she understands this is her father. By then, Elodie's father has brought some people inside the cave to save his daughter from here. They advance further inside the cave and start shouting, calling Elodie's name. Hearing that call, Elodie advances towards them. Suddenly, Elodie reaches such a place where she sees 3 small dragon babies lying dead there, and countless royal ornaments are lying there. Then she understands that there were 3 dragon babies here whom the king of this kingdom came and killed. This dragon is taking revenge for that. Then we see a small flashback. In that flashback, it is shown that after killing the 3 dragon babies, even though the dragon kills everyone, she spares the king and gives a condition to the king that from every generation, princesses will be sent to me. I will kill them. None of them will survive. This will be your punishment. Otherwise, I will destroy your entire palace and entire kingdom. After understanding everything, Elodie advances forward again following that call. Elodie sees her father. But Elodie says in her mind, "Everyone be quiet. Otherwise, the dragon will find you." Elodie couldn't say this loudly because if Elodie does that, the dragon will find Elodie too. Right then, the dragon attacks and the dragon kills one by one all who came to save Elodie. And finally asks Elodie's father, "Why have you come here?" Elodie's father says, "I have come here to take my daughter." Then the dragon becomes completely furious. Elodie's father takes out his sword to fight with the dragon. But in front of that huge dragon, Elodie's father was nothing. The dragon traps Elodie's father and asks Elodie's father, "If she is your daughter, then call her. Call her. I want her to come out." The dragon starts injuring Elodie's father. But Elodie's father shouts and says, "Elodie, beware. Don't come out at all. Stay hidden wherever you are." Elodie understands and hides herself behind a rock nearby and starts crying. Right then, when the dragon is about to kill Elodie's father completely, at that moment, unable to bear it, Elodie makes a small crying sound and shouts "No" loudly. The dragon hears it and starts searching for Elodie again. Although Elodie was very close to the dragon couldn't find Elodie. At that moment, one person who came with Elodie's father runs to save himself from the dragon's hand. And hearing that sound, the dragon rushes that way thinking it might be Elodie. Right at that time, Elodie comes out from behind the rock and sees her father in a dying state. Tells her father, "We came down here by rope. Climb up that rope and get out from here. Save yourself. Forgive me for putting you in such danger. After losing you, I have realized what I have lost." And Elodie's father takes his last breath. After seeing her father die in front of her eyes, Elodie completely breaks down. On the other hand, while the dragon is busy following that man thinking it's Elodie, meanwhile Elodie runs towards that rope to save her life and starts climbing up by the rope. Meanwhile, the dragon finds that man and kills him. And on the other side, sees that Elodie is trying to get out from here by climbing the rope. The dragon immediately heads towards Elodie and throws fire towards her to burn her to death. By then, Elodie has reached completely up and for a little time, Elodie is able to get out from that cave. Elodie runs and mounts the horse on which her father came and starts escaping from there. And sees that by then the dragon has become furious and comes out from inside that mountain to find and kill her. Elodie immediately dismounts the horse and hides herself under a rock to save herself and lets the horse go. The dragon follows the horse, doesn't see Elodie, and burns and kills the horse, and starts searching for Elodie. The dragon becomes completely angry and starts raining fire from the sky so that wherever Elodie is, she burns to death. On the other hand, seeing such rain of fire from the sky, the queen understands that this is Elodie's doing. Elodie has done something that has angered that dragon. The fire spreads all night, but Elodie has hidden herself under that rock so far. By then, it is seen that Elodie's sister and Elodie's mother are still sitting on the seashore waiting to bring Elodie back safely. They hear a sound at the door and think Elodie has returned. But no, there the queen arrives with her soldiers and takes Elodie's younger sister, injures her mother. By then, a lot of time has passed and Elodie comes out from that cave, and when she understands that the dragon has calmed down after coming for so long, and when she advances to survive, right at that moment, we see her mother has come forward on a horse to bring her back safely, and tells Elodie that they injured me and took your younger sister. I will go to save your younger sister. Then Elodie says, "No, mother, you don't have to go. I will go. I will bring my younger sister back safely." And she again mounts the horse and heads towards the dragon's cave to save her younger sister. By then, the queen brings Elodie's younger sister to throw her inside the cave. Even though the prince expresses unwillingness there, the queen forcibly cuts her own hand and cuts the younger sister's hand and mixes that blood. Throws Elodie's younger sister also inside the cave. Elodie reaches inside the cave very quickly and willingly goes down by dropping a rope, and this time goes down to save her own sister. On that side, the dragon takes Elodie's younger sister to kill her. Elodie reaches that place in the cave stage by stage where those glowing creatures were, collects those creatures from there and makes light. And again look at the map where the dragon stays in such a big mountain cave inside this hole. And she makes such a trap that the trap will create a sound after a specific time. When that trap is made, she takes her father's sword in her hand and hides and waits right at the dragon's resting place. When the trap made by Elodie reaches the end, it creates a sound. And the dragon thinks that perhaps Elodie has come. And for some time, the dragon leaves Elodie's younger sister and heads towards that sound. Then Elodie comes out from behind the rock and wakes her sister. Says, "I have come here to save you." Elodie picks up her sister. Then the dragon understands that it was a trap, and immediately the dragon comes back here. Elodie tells her younger sister, "Don't be scared at all. Now I have to face the dragon. I have to tell him all the truth." The dragon returns here. By then, Elodie was standing face to face with the dragon holding the sword completely prepared. Elodie says that what you are doing is wrong. The people you are killing are not royal blood. But the dragon was not ready to believe that. The dragon says, "Your royal family killed my babies, so you have to die." And the dragon throws fire towards Elodie. Fire catches on Elodie's body, but immediately since she falls into the water, the damage to her body is less. She comes up from that water and runs towards that sword again. By then, the dragon comes and catches her and pierces the biggest nail of its finger into her body. Immediately, unable to bear the pain, she takes out that knife hidden inside her body and stabs it into one eye of the dragon. Since the dragon got injured in one eye, it could see less in that eye. Right at the same time, using the same opportunity, Elodie runs and pierces that sword into the dragon's body. But nothing happens to the dragon with this small injury. The dragon takes Elodie in its fist. Then Elodie injures the dragon's hand with a sword in her hand, and the dragon throws her away. And Elodie goes backwards towards another sword. When she advances towards the sword, right then she notices that the dragon's exhaled breaths are creating a reflection in a rock there. Right then, an idea comes to Elodie's mind. Elodie slowly advances towards that rock which was creating the reflection. Elodie tells the dragon, "If you don't want to believe any of my words, then burn me with fire. Throw fire at me. I am standing in front of you. The way you took the lives of all innocent girls, take my life too." Right then, the dragon throws fire towards Elodie. As soon as the dragon throws fire, right at that moment, Elodie jumps from there. And the fire thrown by the dragon turns back and falls on the dragon's body. And a large part of the dragon's body burns. And the dragon becomes weak. Right then, Elodie stands up again and takes the sword in hand and advances towards the dragon. For the last time, Elodie tells the dragon, "The cut mark you can see on my hand, my sister has the same mark on her hand. The royal blood scent you are finding is actually because their blood has been mixed into our blood by cutting the hand. Actually, we are not royal blood. The king and queen have fooled you. All these days, you have only killed ordinary helpless girls who were never royal blood." And then the dragon says, "Then okay. What are you waiting for? Kill me." Elodie takes the sword in hand to kill the dragon, but sticks it into the ground and says, "The same mistake that the king and queen made, I will not make." Elodie runs and brings those small glowing creatures from the water and releases them on the dragon's body, which heals the dragon's burn wounds in an instant. And the dragon understands that Elodie was a good girl because Elodie has saved the dragon again. On the other hand, if we notice, by then preparations for another marriage of the prince are going on. Another ordinary girl is being fooled to present her as royal blood to the dragon. At that wedding ceremony, Elodie arrives with her injured body. The prince becomes completely amazed seeing Elodie. By then, Elodie climbs the wedding stage and tells the girl all of them are fooling you together. Run away from here if you want to save yourself. The queen comes forward and tells Elodie, "What do you think? Will anyone believe your words?" Right at that moment, Elodie says once more, "I am giving you all the last chance. Those who want to save their lives, leave from here. Otherwise, everyone will die." Then the queen says again, "An ordinary girl like you will scare us?" And then Elodie says, "No, actually you shouldn't fear me. You should fear it." Right at that moment, that dragon arrives there. Some people try to run away from their seeing the dragon, but by then the dragon burns the entire palace along with everyone in the kingdom there with fire. When the entire palace is burning and getting destroyed, Elodie bursts out from there, and with her, the dragon flies out from above. Everything becomes normal. By then, Elodie returns to their own kingdom with her own sister and mother. From the beginning, Elodie's wish was to travel the whole world. So handing over all kinds of responsibilities to her mother's hand, giving love, affection, and care to her younger sister, she starts a journey towards the distant unknown, where she will travel the world. And Elodie with that dragon beside her towards a beautiful future. So if you like the video, then like, comment, and share it. Inviting you to watch the next video, signing off. Anik Alvin recaps. Tada!